Good morning, guys. My name is Katie Brenton and I'm with McLean Mortgage and I am a loan officer. I've been doing this since 2010. I started out in banking and then moved over to the origination side of things permanently in 2016. I chose this career because I enjoy helping people finance their homes. So whenever somebody needs to buy a home, they come and see me and we talk about the best way to do that, to get their monthly payment in line and so that they can afford the house that they want over their lifetime. Typical day, I come into my office. This is my office, so you can see here. I come in and set up my computer and dive into my emails and start working on loan applications. I take client calls and I answer a lot of very complicated questions. I will take an application and find out what the best program is for a client, what the best interest rate is. We get quotes on their taxes and their insurance, and then we put all the numbers together in a very long piece of paper and we send it out. I also watch the rate and the financial markets. So my job is to watch the bond market to see what that's doing along with the overall economy in general. And then when the timing is right, we lock the client's interest rate so that they can get the best deal at the right time. So in between checking emails and answering calls, I'm also checking on the stock market and the bond market daily, sometimes several times a day, because the pricing can be changed. Investors will go in after lunch usually and update their pricing based on economic data reports, things like the jobs report, the consumer price index report, the GDP, things like that. So when I was about 4, I started being fascinated by numbers and finance, and I decided that I wanted to go to college. You can see behind me I have my college degrees on the wall. I have 3, and I completed my MBA in about 2015. That's my master's in business administration. My 2 undergraduate degrees are in accounting and finance as well as business. So when I was 4, I just decided I liked working with numbers and I liked doing sales. So I like helping people solve problems through a sales environment, and I enjoy also working on commission, which means that I don't get an hourly paycheck. I get paid per loan that I close, which means the harder I work, the more money that I can make. I also had to go through a lot of licensing. So in order to do this job, the federal government has to issue you a license as well as the states that you want to originate in. When you originate mortgages, you're dealing with people's very sensitive, confidential, personal financial data. And so that means that the state has to say that you're responsible enough to do that. And you have to take a very long exam that's several hours long and several hundred questions long to make sure you understand all the laws, regulations, and compliance. And then every year you have to go through something called CE, continuing education, to make sure that you're staying on top of the laws and changes, because this industry changes very often. And as far as special skills or traits to be successful, you have to be really good with people. You have to be very honest and open. This can be a very difficult industry that's very tough, and so you have to not be afraid to tell people things sometimes that they don't want to hear. You also have to love people and numbers. Those are important things. Anybody can really do this job if they care about making a difference and if you have kind of a tough stomach, because there are some months that look fantastic and then all your deals fall apart, and then there are some months where you're riding a flaming roller coaster to work every day. So it can be a challenge. And my favorite thing about my career is when I'm at the closing table and they sign all the paperwork and they get their keys and they get to go home to their very own home, and it's their house, and I've helped them achieve that. That's a big deal, to help somebody have the stability for their family and to be able to watch them walk away from the closing table and just know that the home that they just purchased is theirs. It's theirs. They don't have to pay a landlord anymore. They can paint it any color they want. They can raise their children there. They can get dogs and kitty cats and have a good time with their family. Some challenges that I encounter: competition. It's very difficult in this market because competition is fierce. Everybody wants to do everybody's mortgage, and so I have to make sure that I differentiate myself. What makes me better than my competitors? What makes me smarter? I specialize in self-employed clients and also complicated things. So most of the clients that I have very complex financial backgrounds. Some of them have 6 or 8 tax returns per year, so I have to be able to read tax returns and rip them apart and shred them and understand what they mean. Some other challenges is I get paid on commission. That means that if I don't close a loan, I don't have a paycheck. And so I have to always be hustling and moving and closing and finding business so that I can take care of my family. And so some people don't have the stomach for that. Some people like a regular steady salary, a regular paycheck. My pay fluctuates. And question number 10 is, how much can someone in my career expect to make? It varies. So sometimes if you do a really, really good job in this career, you can make $500,000, $600,000, $800,000 a year. If you're starting out at the bottom, maybe $50,000 or $60,000. But the average loan officer makes between $120,000 and $200,000 per year. So I think that's what you can expect. Thanks for allowing me to send in this video, and I hope that I've been able to answer some questions.